Imagine those ancient Greeks who started the whole athletic event scene. If they could see our sports event nowadays, they'd probably be like, wow, we totally started this thing. Back in the day in 776 BC, the ancient Greeks were the ones who introduced the whole idea of organized sports events. They started the formal Olympic Games where people would flock to arenas to watch the action. In the current Olympics, we've got a total of 40 officially recognized sports. It's a diverse array of disciplines ranging from athletics, swimming, and gymnastics to basketball, soccer, tennis, and many others. Now let's shift our focus to the early Greeks who pioneered these athletic events. This brings us to the question, how many events or games did those early Greeks who took part in athletic events actually have? Let's explore some of the sports that ancient Greek athletes participated in. Number 1. Foot races. The ancient Greeks held various foot races as a core part of the Olympics. These races showcase their love for running and athletic prowess. Each race had its own distance and unique features. First up was the stadium race, a fast-paced sprint covering about 200 meters. It tested athletes' pure speed with the goal of reaching the finish line in the shortest time possible. Next, we had the Dialas, an exciting double stadium race. Participants had to complete 2 laps around the track, challenging their endurance and requiring careful strategy. For those looking for more challenge, there was the Dolichos, a long-distance race ranging from about 1,400 to 4,800 meters. This race demanded not only physical stamina but also mental toughness. Lastly, there was the Hoplitodromos, a race where athletes wore full armor. Number 2. Boxing. Boxing, or pygmasia, as the ancient Greeks called it, was a tough and brutal sport. Unlike modern boxing with gloves, ancient Greek boxers fought bare-fisted. Their goal was simple: knock out their opponents or make them surrender. In the ring, boxers would use punches to strike their opponents, aiming for headshots and body blows. It was a test of strength, skill, and endurance. And hey, the matches were intense, with boxers going all out to prove their dominance. Imagine these early Greeks joining boxing with no padded gloves to soften their blows, making the sport even more challenging and dangerous. Boxers had to rely on their toughness and technique to outmatch their opponents. The sports scene was pretty different from what we're used to today. Women didn't get a chance to shine in those games. They weren't allowed to participate or even attend the events, especially if they were married. Talk about a strict rule. But here's where things get really interesting. There's this one legendary story that breaks all rules. Let me introduce you to Calipatira of Rhodes. She was determined to see her son's boxing match, so she hatched a plan and disguised herself as a male trainer. Of course, her little secret didn't go unnoticed. She stood her ground and defended herself with some solid arguments, having almost all of his male family members in attendance. Luckily, her life was spared, which is definitely a relief. But here's a twist. As a consequence of that incident, they decided to spice things up a bit for the trainers. Brace yourself for this one. They made it a rule that from then on, trainers had to attend the games completely in the nude. Number 3. Chariot racing. Chariot racing was a popular and risky sport where it involved horse-drawn chariots zooming around a special track called a hippodrome. These exciting races showcased the speed, skill, and danger of the sport. Skilled charioteers steered their chariots, showing off their ability to control the horses and navigate the tricky track. But it wasn't all fun and games. The sport was not without its risks, as the high speeds and tight turns often led to collisions, crashes, and even injuries. Number 4. Horse racing. Horse racing is an exciting sport that has captured the imaginations of people throughout history. It involves jockeys riding horses and competing in thrilling races. In horse racing, the goal is simple: to be the first to cross the finish line. The races take place on tracks or turf, and the jockeys guide the horses toward victory by using their skills in riding and controlling the animals. It has its roots in ancient civilizations such as the Greeks and Romans, who held races as a form of entertainment. Today, it remains a popular sport enjoyed by millions of people around the world. You might be wondering if chariot racing and horseback riding are the same thing. Well, they both involve horses and racing, but there's a key difference in how they're done. Chariot racing is all about racing with horse-drawn chariots. It's an intense sport that shows the connection between the charioteer and the horses pulling the chariot. Horse riding or horse racing is more about the direct interaction between the jockey and the horse. The jockey guides the horse using reins and other tools, encouraging the horse to run as fast as it can. The jockey's skills and horse's speed and stamina play a big role in the race. Number 5. Wrestling. Wrestling, called pale in ancient Greece, was a major sporting event. It involved participants grappling with each other, aiming to throw their opponent to the ground. It required wrestlers to be quick on their feet and have a good understanding of body mechanics. The wrestlers competed completely naked, without any clothing or protective gear. Wrestling matches often last for hours. There were no weight classes, so wrestlers had to be skilled in various techniques to overcome opponents of different sizes and strengths. Unlike modern wrestling, there were no rounds or time limits. The matches continued until one wrestler was thrown to the ground, admitting defeat. Number 6. Pankration. Pankration was a combat sport that blended elements of boxing and wrestling. It was a no-holds-barred competition. The competitors used some of the same moves you see in modern MMA fights. They threw punches like boxers, landed elbow strikes, unleashed knee strikes, and aimed low kicks at their opponent's legs. They even went for hits or kicks to the ground, something you won't see in today's MMA matches. Compared to the modern UFC fighters, these athletes didn't wear gloves, so they could throw karate-style knife hand strikes as well. But biting and eye-gouging were prohibited. Pankration was actually highly respected as one of the most rigorous and challenging events in the ancient Olympics. It exemplified the Greeks' appreciation for the raw and unforgiving nature of hand-to-hand combat, serving as a testament to the warrior spirit. Number 7. Pentathlon. The word pentathlon is derived from the Greek words penta, meaning 5, and athlon, meaning contest. So pentathlon literally translates to 5 contest. First up, competitors showcase their leaping prowess in the long jump, striving to achieve impressive distances. They can demonstrate their throwing skills in both the javelin and discus events, aiming for accuracy and power in their launches. Next was the stadium race, which I already mentioned. Finally, they exhibited their strength and grappling techniques in the wrestling match, engaging in controlled combat. The pentathlon held symbolic importance in ancient Greek culture. It was believed to represent the ideal balance of physical and mental attributes necessary for success in life beyond the sporting arena. These days, Olympians actually earn cash just for being a part of the games. Sponsors and endorsements are also some of the ways these athletes rake in the dough. Big brands want to associate themselves with these Olympians and are willing to shell out a big amount of money. In ancient Greece, athletes didn't receive money or physical rewards like cash, oil, or food for their sporting achievements. They didn't have a tradition of giving out those kinds of prizes. Instead, successful athletes were honored in different ways. They were given special crowns made of olive leaves called laurel wreath. These wreaths were a symbol of their victory and serve as a visible sign of their accomplishment. Being a victorious athlete was highly valued in ancient Greek society. People praised and admired them. Their names were written down on historical records, and poets and musicians composed songs and poems to celebrate their achievements. It was all about the recognition and respect they gained for their skills and hard work. If you're interested in learning more about the history of the Olympics, be sure to watch our previous video, The Origins of the Olympic Games. You can find the link in the video description. Also, give this a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you stay up to date and never miss any of our episodes. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, Discover Ancient Civilizations, so you can continue exploring the world of history. There's always more knowledge to gain and more interesting stories waiting to be discovered. Catch you in the next one.